The sirens faded, the screens went dark, and just like that, Hollywood said goodbye to a legend who didn't just play a hero on TV, but actually changed the way we save lives in the real world.
It really is the end of an era.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And in today's deep dive, we are looking at a story that is, well, it's honestly unlike anything we usually cover.
Right, because our main headline today is Hollywood says goodbye to emergency. Legend Randolph Mantooth.
Yeah, if you look at entertainment news or even like medical journals today, Saturday, July 11, 2026, his face is absolutely everywhere.
He passed away just 2 days ago on July 9 at the age of 80 after this really long, grueling battle with multiple cancers, starting with throat cancer.
It is such a profound loss.
Yeah.
And the reaction has been, I mean, it's staggering.
You expect the Hollywood directors and former co-stars to post tributes? Sure.
Exactly. But the truly overwhelming wave of grief, it's coming from firehouses and emergency medical stations all over the globe.
Which is exactly our mission for this deep dive. We are not just reading a standard Hollywood obituary today.
No, definitely not.
Using sources that span from entertainment news to historical legal studies, we are exploring this incredible phenomenon. We're looking at how one actor and one TV show, the 1970s NBC drama Emergency, literally catalyzed the creation of the modern 9/11 system.
It's one of those rare moments where pop culture didn't just, reflect society. It actually served as the blueprint to rewrite a national public health system.
But wait till you hear what came next, because his journey to that role is wild. And if
Right.
you are loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you are subscribed. We have got even crazier stories ahead.
Yeah, because Mantooth wasn't some guy who grew up steeped in firehouse culture.
Not at all. He was born in Sacramento in 1945. He had Cherokee and Seminole heritage on his dad's side, and his early life was just pure hustle.
He was grinding. Like, as a kid, he was a newspaper boy for the Coatesville Record in Pennsylvania.
He was an elevator operator, too. He even did a stint as an NBC page at Rockefeller Center.
Oh, wow, an NBC page. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And eventually, he gets a scholarship to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, which is, incredibly prestigious.
Right, and that is actually where he formalized his stage name.
Hmm.
He changed it from Randy to Randolph.
And it was there that people realized, oh, wait, this guy has serious talent. He won the Charles Jellinger Award while playing the lead in Philadelphia, Here I Come.
Which is basically the Academy's highest honor. So he's deep in the New York theater scene. And this Universal talent agent, Eleanor Kilgallen, discovers him.
She signs him, moves him to California, and he starts doing guest spots on shows like Adam 12 and Marcus Welby, MD.
So he is this classically trained theater actor making this weird transition into network television.
Okay, let's unpack that for a second.
Yeah.
Think about classical theater. You are memorizing dense dialogue, delivering it flawlessly under the pressure of a live audience.
Right, it's intense.
But in a weird way, that is the exact same mental discipline you need to be a paramedic.
Wait, really? How so?
Well, you have to memorize highly technical medical jargon, drug dosages, and deliver it perfectly over a radio while under the massive pressure of a trauma scene.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that.
The physical setting is different, but the need for absolute precision under pressure is practically identical.
That makes total sense. And it probably explains why producer Robert A. Sidater saw something in Mantooth.
Yeah, he caught him in a small role on The Bold Ones and decided he was the guy for this radical new show about paramedics.
Which brings us to the coolest piece of trivia. His character, Johnny Gage, was originally supposed to be named Jim Page.
After the real-life LA County Battalion Chief.
Exactly. But Jim Page begged them not to use his name because he was terrified his bosses would fire him for his radical ideas about paramedics.
Which sounds totally crazy today. Why would you get fired for wanting better medical rescue?
Well, that just shows how terrifying the reality of emergency medicine was before 1972.
It really was the dark ages of medicine. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the stats from our sources are just chilling.
In 1966, there was this National Academy of Sciences report called the White Paper. It showed that 107,000 Americans were dying from accidental injuries in a single year.
107,000. That is a massive number.
And by 1972, EMS was still considered the absolute weakest link in national health care.
Here is the shocking fact for you. When Mantooth debuted as Johnny Gage, there were only 12 civilian paramedic units in the entire United States.
12. And 8 of them were in LA County alone.
So for the rest of the country, if you had a heart attack, who was coming to get you?
Honestly, most of the time, it was the local funeral home.
Okay, you have to explain that because it sounds like a morbid joke. Funeral homes?
No, it is totally true. Back then, the only commercially available cars long enough to fit an adult lying totally flat were Cadillac hearses.
Wait, seriously? They sent hearses?
Yeah, so funeral homes just became the default ambulance providers, and the drivers were literally morticians.
That is wild.
They had zero life support training. No oxygen, no vitals. They just loaded you in the back and drove really fast to the hospital, hoping you survived the trip.
Just a fast ride in a car meant for dead bodies. It is so unsettling to think about now.
Right. But that grim reality is exactly the world that emergency stepped into.
And later in the episode, we will talk about the shocking twist regarding how this very system saved Mantooth's own life, so do not go anywhere.
Oh, that part gives me goosebumps every time.
So moving on to the catalyst effect. This show basically acted as a legislative battering ram.
It really did.
But here's where it gets really interesting, and I have to push back a little on the Hollywood myth-making here.
Okay, let's hear it.
We know the Emergency Medical Services Systems Act was signed in 1974. That provided massive federal funding for paramedics.
Signed by Gerald Ford.
But passing federal laws takes years of hearings and lobbying. Did a fictional TV show actually change laws, or was it just correlation? Like riding a wave of inevitable progress?
It's a fair question. But the sources actually prove causation here. The medical community was totally stalled before the show.
Really? Politicians just wouldn't fund it.
Yeah, it was too expensive. And the public didn't get why firefighters needed to act like doctors. The show gave them immense grassroots leverage.
How does a TV show do that, though?
Well, the pilot was essentially a 2-hour plea for California's Wedworth-Townsend Paramedic Act. Mantooth's character actually realizes someone died because he couldn't legally give them advanced treatment in the field.
Wow, so they were actively educating the viewers about the laws blocking their own safety.
Exactly. And in 1972, U.S. Senator Alan Cranston literally wrote a letter to the show's producers.
An actual U.S. senator?
Yes, he explicitly credited the series, saying it fired the public imagination and spurred legislative action.
Because viewers were watching Mantooth use this crazy piece of tech called a biophone, right?
A biophone is revolutionary.
Yeah.
This heavy orange box that sent a patient's actual heart rhythm over the radio to a doctor miles away.
So people are sitting at home watching this, remembering the funeral hearses, and suddenly they are storming city council meetings demanding paramedics.
And it completely worked. By the end of the 1970s, half of all Americans lived within 10 minutes of a paramedic unit.
From 12 units to half the country in a decade. That is incredible.
But the public only bought into it because of how authentic Mantooth and his co-star Kevin Tighe were on screen.
Right, let's unpack this authenticity. They didn't just memorize lines, they sat in on real medic classes.
They did massive ride-alongs with the LA County Fire Department.
Mantooth actually joked about it once. He said, if anyone has a heart attack, I'll call 911 with the best of them.
That is hilarious. He knew his limits, but his muscle memory on screen was perfect.
And they did their own stunts, too. As long as their faces were visible on camera, they were doing the heavy lifting.
The on-set dynamic sounds amazing, too. Mantooth talked about working with Julie London, who played Nurse Dixie McCall.
Oh, I read about this. He said he learned every bad word from her.
Yeah. She proudly called herself a broad and kept everyone grounded. The chemistry was just so real.
And that realness led to the ultimate honor. In the year 2000, the show's props were inducted into the Smithsonian.
Mantooth's uniform, his helmet, the biophone, the defibrillator, all of it.
But the craziest part, they weren't put in the entertainment division.
No, they were placed in the public service division, recognizing it as a turning point in actual American history.
And Mantooth celebrated by launching Project 51, taking the restored squad truck on a 10-city charity tour to raise money for burn centers.
Which perfectly transitions into his life after the show, because he dedicated his whole life to the calling.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss what is coming next, because his personal connection to this cause is wild.
He had a huge career beyond the squad, though. He earned 4 Soap Opera Digest Award nominations.
Yeah, he was in Loving the City As the World Turns. He even popped up on Sons of Anarchy.
But he spent his off time advocating for firefighters. And it wasn't just a PR stunt. It was a personal debt.
Right, because of the very system he helped build ended up saving his life.
Yes. He suffered severe carbon monoxide poisoning at his home, and medics diagnosed it and saved him.
And didn't a flight nurse save his sister after a horrific car crash, too?
Exactly. So he spent decades as a spokesperson for the IAFF and IAFC on health and safety.
He even created emergency preparedness videos for native tribes like the Mille Lacs Ojibwe Reservation.
Right up until his passing, he was executive producing a documentary called Into the Unknown to show the unfiltered reality of modern EMS.
He and Kevin Tighe were even made honorary fire chiefs by the LA County Fire Department in 2012.
The ultimate full circle moment.
So what does this all mean? Mantooth wasn't just an actor. He was a storyteller who helped build a system that saves millions of lives today.
He really loved storytelling, too. His family said his favorite thing was just sitting around a fire pit in Santa Barbara, sharing stories.
This raises an important question, though, considering how emergency revolutionized funding and public demand for paramedics. What other vital but underfunded public services today are just waiting for their own compelling pop culture narrative to finally capture the public's imagination?
Wow, that is an incredibly provocative thought, something we should all really mull over.
You have been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and do not forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.